Howdy folks, I'm Keith Bowen. This is Hard Rock University. And we're down here at the bottom of the working area, Montana B again. And we have come upon something that is highly undesirable. Now, this is where I was working up here. And there was another tie, cross tie on these tracks. The assumption was that there was ore. This is vein right here. Let me get my helmet light on. This is vein in here. The assumption was it would go out about that far. There'd be about a foot of midden or something like that. If you take a look, there's a cross tie, and there's rock. And so it's not an unreasonable assumption that there's a foot or so of midden there. But when I dug it out, that's where the rock is back here. Now, that's where we were counting on getting ore. So clearly, we're not going to get very much ore there. All we've got was pack rat midden, which is not terribly valuable. As a matter of fact, it's somewhat hazardous. So I've dug it out. See, I'm standing above where the other cross tie was. Okay, the level that we were operating, it was out over here. So all that is not ore. Assuming, see now this next cross tie there, I'm kind of assuming that you got the same midden issue. Below that, really see what we can see here. If you look right there, that's a plank that crosses the decline at the 40-foot level. And so we're getting fairly close. We got about 10 feet below this cross tie here before we get down to the 40-foot level. But right in this area here, we got bedrock again. Now, that may be decent ore that was just left back for the 40-foot level, but looking at it, it's not the same kind of rock as this. Not at all. It doesn't look nearly as good to my eye, although I'm not a, I don't have that, so I'm going to have to take a sample of that and see what we got. And I'm going to move this over here and see if maybe it dives in under or something like that. But you can see how wide they were going, and then they just tightened it right up. So my guess is that this big wide area was pretty much all ore, and then they got to the bottom, trenched it out a little bit, and then put in their rails, and the damn pack rats filled it in 3 or 4 feet of stuff, which really causes a problem. I say in terms of our estimating tonnages. So our advancing here may not be economic. I don't know. We're theoretically into at least break even at this point, but I sure don't see it. We have a few options, and I'll have to talk things over with the claim owner. We're getting close to the end of the season here. He may want to just kind of continued focus here, or we could switch to the dump, and I mean we come out here in a day, we could easily get 60 buckets of lower grade material, and just to keep the mill running until the weather closes down, get as much resin and stuff so we can do as much testing over the winter as possible. I don't know, but you can see they moved a lot of stuff out of here, but they didn't leave as much as it looked like. That's a problem. So anyhow, okay, so I've taken out quite a bit of the vein right there, and it's not widening out in the slightest. It looks like if we want to continue on efficiently, we're going to have to bring the ladder track to that level right there, about where the rock hammer is. Which means, considering I'm standing here, we'd have to cut back those shelves and make a radical change to that angle, which is possible to do. But one thing we need to see is how rich is this stuff right here. That's an important criterion, because if it's if it's really rich, then we may want to come back into here. But it's time to be doing some thinking. That's all I can say. So from a very perplexed Keith Bowen down here in Montana Bee, happy prospecting and keep it safe out there.